Hello, everyone. We'll start now. Yes. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the fifth edition of Tashkil'. Tashkil is the annual alumni interaction event hosted by Whitespace, the design club of IIT Guwahati. It is the first official event of the tenure that is open to the public, regardless of stream, profession, or whether they're an IITG student or not. For the final talk of Tashkil'25, we have with us Mr. Aman Chandra, MDes batch of 2021. Aman Chandra is a multidisciplinary designer who work spans product design, system thinking, learning environments, and storytelling. He has led design initiatives at a large scale at tech companies like Geo, where he worked on enterprise platforms used by millions, and at the Museum of Solutions, where he crafted playful and meaningful learning experiences for children. His projects combine thoughtful design strategy with hands-on approach to technology. And he is here today to speak to us about some unconventional, even radical ways of thinking about design beyond just UI, UX, or product. We are going to learn about some more ways of thinking about design. Please keep your questions ready for a Q&A after the talk, and be sure to drop them in the comment box. Mics and videos will remain off throughout the talk, so when you need to ask a question during the Q&A, I request you raise your hand. Now let's begin. Mr. Chandra, the stage is yours.
Hi, I hope I'm audible. Great. So, yeah, thanks, you, Akshay, and the Whitespace Design Club to inviting me, for this call and even accepting this, uh, you know, weird title of it of the top. So let me just share my screen and start. Let's see how much we can accomplish. Is my screen visible?
Yes.
Okay, great. So to be honest, you know, I just wanted to have a conversation. I just saw this as an opportunity to have conversation with young and budding designers from my college and across. So I'll just begin my presentation with a very simple hi. I'm Aman. I am IIT Guwahati Master of Design Batch 2021. So my story so far has been very short till now. I began my professional career just 4 years ago. My professional career started with Geo, working in the central UI UX team, where I was part of a very large team where products ranging from something like a Geo game to something like a Geo My Geo app to something like a Geo POS, which I primarily worked on, which actually is a application used by retailers across the country for sales and activation. So it's like a very systematic application, professional product development environment, which I was part of, and I just want to you guys to know how it felt like to me and what was my learning. So in a big company, in a big corporate park, where you are just a cog in the machine, I just had that experience working in that team, and my learnings from Geo were these. I'll just share it with you right away. Cut the chase, cut the chase. So importance of collaboration when you're working in large teams. So design is a lot about collaboration. When we think of creating products, it's never one person or one kind of team. It's actually threading a lot of them together. And the difference between the definition of design industry versus academia. So when we study design at an institute, or at an academic organization, we often have a different understanding of design. Our thing is, we always think about, okay, design solves problem. We have to solve problem. Design a device for the visually impaired that can do this and that, and then suddenly you enter industry and it's something else. It's like you're healthy people, you have to make them sell, make them use this new product. It's a different definition. Design for them is a tool, while for academia, design is a process, design is a way of thinking. um, Stakeholder management, of course, key part of being a designer is to be able to convince them, and you know who, and to have fun. Whatever you do, you must have fun. Otherwise, we could have been working in a bank. So now I'm at Museum of Solutions. I work in the content and exhibits team. This is the team that looks after, as the name suggests, content and the exhibits. The idea from ideation to conceptualization, and finally the whether it's development or whether it's fabrication handover. So I'll just introduce what is Museum of Solutions. So MUSO, as we like to call it, MUSO is a place for children, which is boldly child-led, trusting in child's curiosity and the driving seat. These are basically our founding principles, rooted in reality, where whatever we dream, those dreams must come true. So uh, whatever we try to bring to the children must have a sense of reality into it. Whether it's not about dreaming a dreamland, it's about dreaming a reality which is good for everyone. Then collaboration creates magic. So of course, collaboration again, it's a common theme, comes together again. So here are some of the clips. So it's a place, it's a physical space in Mumbai, in Lower Parel, where children come together with their parents or in their capacity of schools, and basically interact with different kinds of exhibits and installations and games and different workshops, different activities that are designed around uh, imparting education, or more importantly, empowering them with the right kind of tools, so as to whenever they decide to become the change maker that the world needs, because we believe children can change the world, they should be able to. So that's the fundamental idea. So Museum of Solutions is just a quick, I'll just give you a roundup that Museum of Solutions is also 2024's Times greatest places of, for the world's greatest places. And also we have won the Children in Museum Award at the European Museum Academy, which is very prestigious. So basically, the Museum Solution is divided into four spaces, four different floors or labs, as we call it: the Play Lab, the Discover Lab, the Make Lab, and the Grow Lab. Uh, the fundamental idea behind all these labs is to actually, again, as I told you, to empower and to make children understand what we can do, what they can do, coming from whatever background they are. So something like a play lab. Play lab is a space where children play with STEM STEM subjects. So basically, science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. So different kinds of exhibits are designed around the idea of STEM, whether it's learning about Bernoulli's principle or buoyancy or anything. So they don't learn, theories as directly. They play with those theories. They play with the application of those theories, and that in turn sort of subconsciously makes them aware and enable them to sort of uh, deal with the problem as to whenever it arrives. Discover Lab is about discovering real world challenges. So once they're done with playing at the Play Lab, the next stop is Discover Lab, where children discover what are the real world problems. So this is the space where I work on primarily. Discover Lab is actually a ever transforming space. So every project that comes has a 2-year timeline to it. So whatever we design has to come out 2 years later and sort of replace the current real world problem. So for example, right now the Discover Lab is about water. So Mumbai is a city, all about and centered around water. So surrounded by water, not centered around, surrounded by water. So Mumbai has a close relationship with water, floods, and water scarcity even, like clean water scarcity. So Discover Lab is currently centered around that. Even right now, I'm working on a project where we are trying to imagine what would the next problems be. So we are doing, the process. If someone of you may ask, so process as we go through is actually we ask the children. We have a children's panel where we give children the real challenges themselves. We ask them, we show them stuff and we ask them what do they like, and whatever works with children, we actually let them have the conference room for themselves and make a pros and cons list, or use any of the business tools that you guys know of, like dot voting or card sorting. All these stuff children do themselves, and they come up with their own thing that, okay, this works for us, this is something I would not be interested in. So it's a very fun sort of process where children themselves are part of the uh, creation journey. So yeah, we are now imagining what is the next real world challenge, what is the next problem. I would love to hear from you guys on this later, at a later point. Make Lab is where, as the name suggests, Make Lab is where make children learn to make. Basically, that this lab is all about tools and machines and gears and system of creation as a whole. So again, let me recap. Play, you sort of learn about science concepts consciously or subconsciously. Discover, you discover the real world challenge. And make, you end up making. If you have any solution in your mind, you have to make it. So make sort of enables that. And finally, we have the Grow Lab, which is the latest offering, which came out just recently. And uh, like like interestingly, I'm part of it. I designed it. So Grow Lab is actually uh, a final lab, which is all about enabling children to make change, but keeping nature in their mind. So what often adults do, and we have been doing, is in the name of progress, we often sort of leave behind the natural processes, not involving nature as part of the development. Only thinking of how we can improve ourselves, and how do we sort of, okay, get the next phone, let's say. But the Grow Lab is about making them, uh, getting them across a space where they can learn from nature as a whole. I'll show you in brief what Grow Lab actually is. So Grow Lab is the latest project, so that's what I'm trying to show you in a very brief manner. So Grow Lab is about, that's the motto, nature has all the solutions. The Grow Lab enables children to have a grounded, naturalistic approach to change and not make the same mistakes made by adults. It's a message that solutions made by children will be sustainable, borrowing from nature as well as expanding upon it while coexisting in it. So Grow Lab is a space where children are introduced to a lot of stuff, like nature's textures, nature's system of coexisting, how one organism balances the activities of the other and sort of creates a space. So even so basically we are in Mumbai. We're on, this is a terrace lab, and we are in a space which is like a very hot and humid environment. But if you go to the Grow Lab, a very small sensorial difference occurs, is that you feel a degree or two lower. Why? Because of the plants. So something as simple as that, it sort of becomes a testament for children to understand and even feel the power. So that is sort of what we are doing here. We are, so on the right side, on the bottom right, if you see a cart, so it's a cart of seeds. So you guys would be surprised to know, especially if there are any older members in the audiences. So basically, we made a cart of seeds, which is like a like a replicating a seed cart, seed vendor kind of thing, and we have all these seeds in different categories of like edible seeds, seeds that fly, seeds that float, seeds that are carried through animal systems like eating and then excreting. So that categorization is there on the seed card. And what we found was really shocking to us when we sort of did the initial testing, was that children, when they learned that they had been eating seeds this whole time, seeds like rajma, seeds like chana or anything else, or even rice, that just that was like a shock to them that we had been eating seeds we could have planted. So one of the child got emotional that why are we eating the seeds, we should plant it and make the tree. So the parent had to console them and make them understand that that's the part of the process. So yeah, that's something which is there. Now let me home back to my time at IIT Guwahati. Uh, my time at IIT Guwahati, so most significant years. So I will definitely help you understand how why it is important, uh, how it shaped me. So basically, you have to trust the fundamentals. Academia is important. So while the market is filled with designers, trust the academic process. Explore. Now is the time to explore. Take all the courses, even if you have little interest in them. Go read in the library. These are the stuff. I mean, basically, I'm telling it to myself. To be honest, my older self, sorry, younger self. Which we often get sort of we are right now seeing a flood of designers and creative professionals coming in the market who are able to do now with the advent of AI, even more people are able to do. So that's why I'm trying to make you understand that you have to trust the fundamentals. Placements are important, definitely, but don't let it drive your design education. And finally, be humble. While as a designer, it is important to be edgy, humbleness will never be trumped. So, so this is the advice for students from Charles Gaines. This was shared to me by of course a professor at IIT Guwahati, Professor Mrigank Madhupalya. So he gave me this list on the first day I select, like I went to him as a to take me as a as a project for the MTP, for the thesis project. So he gave me this list. So it's a very interesting list. You guys, I can share this with you guys at a later time. You must make a list of books, develop your curiosities. I hope you guys, by the way, I hope you guys know about Charles Eames. If anybody doesn't know, definitely Google right now. Uh, it is important for you, especially those who are studying in an informal education, who are doing BDes or MDes, whatever. If you don't know who Charles Eames is, I think some questions will be asked. So, so design is a full-time job. Full-time job. It is a way you look into politics, funny papers, listen to music, raise children. So it's everything. If you just go through it, you'll get to understand. So let me home back to what is what is design. The most cliche thing asked to the designers. Is it the interfaces that we engage on a daily or hourly basis, or is it the products that we use in our daily lives? Across. I'll at this point I would like to maybe have an input. Will it be possible? White space.
Yes, I will
Will
soon enable the mics for the audience and
Yeah,
they can
let them raise.
raise their hand to
Yeah. So
they
basically,
can raise their hand to
yeah, let me just recall and reframe it. So I'm just asking the simple question: what do you think design is? Is it the design of the interface, or the design of the product, or anything else? Do you think? Just give me that. Give me inputs on that. I can see.
the mics are unable, you can raise your hand and
Anything, just say. If nothing comes, then say, I'll just be, okay, somebody has, yeah. Shreya.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Look, the question is, what is design, right? Look,
Hmm. What
so
is design to you? Yeah.
I think design could be like understanding the user experience, designing a product, yes,
Mhm.
but that product could be like digital, physical, anything. Like even a an image to convey some meaning is could be a product. So an end result to convey some emotion or to get some sort of work done is design.
Okay, great. Anything else? Arvind?
Arvind, I don't think we can hear you.
Hmm. Even though mic is enabled. Mhm.
Is that better?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I was saying like design could be anything that we create that has some purpose or some end goal attached to it with some motive.
Good one. Good one. Yes. Very good. What? Let's expand on that. Anybody wants to expand on that, or even Arvind, you would like to speak more on that? What
Uh,
do purpose?
Purpose, it could be some, and it can be either conveying some message or it can be getting someone to do something, feel something, anything
Okay.
like that.
So do you want to say that it purpose may not be solving the problem?
Yes, it doesn't necessarily have to be a problem that has to be solved. It can simply be say like growth or
Mhm.
something like that.
Right. Okay. Anybody else? Advait, I see another hand. Who else?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, this takes me back to my college days. It's what my professor told was it is basically you have a current state and you have a desired state, and whatever happens in between is design.
Amazing. So may I know your introduction, like brief introduction? Who are you? Sorry.
Yeah, I'm Vivek Kotagiri. I'm a user experience designer. I've been in the industry for the last 7 years, and yeah, I've done my masters from SISTI.
Okay, great. Sure. Thanks for your input, Vivek. Anybody else? I think I saw one more raised. Advait was there. What happened to Advait? It's okay. Okay,
Yeah,
let me.
am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible. Yeah.
Yeah, I was picking my mic. So hi, Aman. Yeah, my answer might not suit it, but I still feel like deep down, design is problem solving, more like helping people.
Hmm.
So it's not like a problem which everyone has identified. Even not knowing something is a problem, at least in my eyes. So helping people for me is design.
So do you think somebody has designed your curriculum?
Yeah, definitely.
So what was the problem there?
Uh, so
Yeah,
ultimately,
open.
the end goal is to educate me. Yeah, definitely. Educate students to be better designers, professionals. So that was the goal. And the problem is ultimately we don't right now have knowledge and experience to do that. So the
Great.
problem is the gap.
I'll add to what you're saying. Okay, why did the courses get created? The courses got created because the country needed designers. Okay, that was the problem statement. That if India needs to progress, the ministries and the policymakers, they thought, okay, design is something we should progress in. And even if you guys heard about, uh, that's why I asked. How many of you know the names of EAMS and or EAMS report? Let me just
Yeah,
ask this question.
yeah.
EAMS report.
Actually, our batch was the batch who received the arts and aesthetics lecture from Meganka sir, and he made sure
Oh,
that
yes.
everyone resonates with it. So we are deeply moved by the India report and what was the
Very
aim
good.
behind an
So that
idea.
now you understand that the problem statement is different. Problem statement was not to educate. The problem statement is, so even often the right approach is to first dissect the problem, right? So
Mhm.
we often miss that. Okay, we are just trying to help someone or do this. No, no, no. There's a larger objective. So let me get back. let me get back.
Yeah.
Just we're almost there. So I'm just giving you like 3 new ways of maybe thinking about design that you can maybe apply into your practice. They are not isolated from interface design or product design or physical design or anything else. They are just ways of thinking which we are often up. If you apply into it, if you think like that, again, gain more information, gain more knowledge on that, and apply into your process, you might have a more holistic, more aware product. Because see, what we are doing right now as designers is equivalent to using keyboard to type words. Okay, what is required is that we not only write words but write stories. Okay, so if that makes sense to you. So this is the idea. Think holistically. You guys have heard, I think, gazillion times at this point, uh, to become a designer you must think holistically. So again, I'm giving again Eames ka quote. So Eames, this is a excerpt from an article. uh, what are the boundaries of design was asked, was the question posed in 1969 to Charles, who with his partner Ray designed chairs, toys, housing, films, exhibitions, and to a certain extent the very nature of communication. So Eames responded, what are the boundaries of the problem, right? So again, just giving an example that how Advait thought that uh, the purpose of designing a course on design is actually to educate people on design. But no, the purpose is actually beyond that. Purpose is that India needs more designer. India needs to expand its horizons in the scope of design. So that is why NID was created. That is why IIT Guwahati is created. So IIT Guwahati Department of Design is created. So yeah. So I'm just giving you 3 tools, three line of thoughts. So the first is design as world building. So not just as product, uh, design not just the product, but the world where the product sits. So even the image, if you see, you guys know the film, I hope. It's her. So her is a great example of world building. It's essentially what is happening right now. We are talking to AI, we are sharing our confidential ideas and data and all that, that it has already envisioned, but it has envisioned more than that. It has envisioned the entire world around that, not just an interface. So again, even that interface needs, you can study. So the other thing is ontology. So ontological design, actually the principles of ontological design suggest that what we designs us back. So you guys know about, you just take any product, any designed product, let's just say chair, right? So we just innocently, you can buy a chair and say, ah, this chair looks cool. But the chair will design your thoughts in the future. Chair will design the tasks, the assignments that you will do, if, even knowingly or unknowingly, uh, through the feature of comfort or aesthetics or any sort of other elements. It will actually affect you. So that's the ontological way of thinking about design. uh, and then ritual design. So basically, whatever we do has rituals ingrained into it. I mean, I'm sure the act of waking up and touching your phone, first thing, just getting your phone in your hand and opening whatever is your go-to app is your ritual. And I think it's an it's a ritual for the generation, I would say. So let's a little bit more on that. So design isn't just about solving the problem, it's about constructing new realities. So think of every product or service as part of a larger world, with its own logic and role into it. So whatever you design, definitely try to think what beyond just user persona or pain points and all that. Think about what kind of world does it create. Okay, if let's say even if you make a toothbrush, what kind of bathroom does it sit in? Don't just stop at the brush. Imagine what kind of bathroom it is. What kind of mirror is it? Is it a like a futuristic mirror where whatever is happening, or is it just a roadside uh, whatever? So good world building invites participation, imagination, and agency. So again, yeah. So in this thing, in this way of thinking, you can apply principles of systems thinking. You can apply principles of how basically how speculation works. Okay, so whatever you design, you speculate everything else around it. So when you design, as I gave you an example, right? Ontological design again. So the things that we design from apps to spaces, this shape us back. So design is not neutral again. So that innocent, I think it's time that we depart from this. That's what I'm trying to actually give you guys, that we depart from this definition of design as a very positive and a very it's solving problem. Every design is for good. We should sort of uh, understand the design tools, or even uh, y- our brain functions, like how we like certain kind of stimuli. Design sort of definitely builds on that, right? We like bright colors. Let's say bright colors evoke certain kinds of emotions, so that sort of has a cyclical nature to it. So design is not neutral. It influences your sense of time, self, and
Hello.
Sorry for the abrupt stop. Mr. Chandra is experiencing some technical difficulties. We'll be back as soon as possible. And Mr. Chandra is back. Mr. Chandra, is your mic working now?
yeah, it's working, but I can't turn on my camera. I don't know what happened. Let me join back again.
Right. Well, this talk has been very interesting so far. We've learned lots and lots about different ways of thinking about design, expanding our minds,
Yeah,
and that will continue with Mr. Chandra back.
yeah, thanks. Raksha, there's some issue. I'm back. Where, what was the last thing you guys heard? Ritual design. Had I reached that ritual design?
So you were
Design is neutral. Ontological design. Oops, sorry.
Ontological design. Okay, fine. So design is neutral. Again, I think did I finish the slide for you, or was I just there only in between?
halfway done, sir.
Halfway then. Okay, fine. So again, as I was telling you guys, that design is not neutral. It influences our decision. So uh, don't I think that is what I was trying to tell you guys, that we should depart from this definition of design as a very positive, or a very it will bring change. See, whatever is happening right now, whether it's for good or bad, is part of, is using principles of design. So we must have a, as a as future designers, as young designers, we must have an outlook towards uh, whatever we are designing, keeping the fundamentals of ontological design into it. In it, you may, I mean, you may be working in an organization which is like, let's say, trying to build, you know, something that you yourself think that it's it may not bring about a great change, but maybe you with maybe if you try to develop a sense of uh, you know trying to build design not only in that product itself, but to a larger extent, maybe that could help bring some positivity into it. So who does, we just ask this question, who does this design make me become? What do you become if you start using this product? So this is especially true. All this what I'm telling you may sound too ideal to you, but yeah, especially it's true for you guys, because you guys are still in college. I mean, most of you guys are still in college, and it would be great if if you yourself start practice like this, that then only this sort of change will sort of arrive. That we are seeing a batch of designers, let's say, become start designing more holistic products rather than just okay, this is this kind of designer I can plug in my company, and he or she will make an app for me, and we can start the machine. So more aware, more smarter designers. So ritual design is the last stop. Basically, ritual design is where, uh, as I already told you guys, design is we are surrounded by rituals, and the rituals is not, by ritual I don't mean uh, the ritual of going to a temple and ringing the bell, but actually ritual of, let's say, whatever practice you do, going to, uh, let's say you arrive at the office and the first thing you do is, let's say, organize your table. Even that's a ritual. So in that way, how do we design rituals into it? Because rituals often, it's often noticed that when rituals sort of help the cognitive load on people. Rituals help lead a more comfortable life, and that is why religions and any sort of cultural ritual things have been, it has been very hard for them people to let go, because they find comfort into it, even by the sound of it, even by the look of it, they find into it. So modern rituals, how do we design the modern rituals? So even principles of ritual design we actually employ when designing for the museum. So whenever we try to design a long-term space, long-term exhibit, we often have a ritual into it. So for example, if a visitor comes regularly, what is the first thing that they do? What is the first thing that they do, and what is the last thing that they do? So in that sense, even the space has rituals into it. Entering into a lift and then asking for something, even that's a ritual. So yeah, designing rituals help form an identity. Of course, repetitive stuff actually is identity. I mean, I think today we are living in an era where it's very much clear that a lot of the good, whatever we see popular are actually a result of just an algorithm repeating it over and over again. They are not really good, right? On any counts, they are not really good music, or any good funny thing or anything. They just by through an act of repetition it becomes that. So to fight with that, we must fight in the same manner. So use moments, repetition, symbolism to turn tasks into meaning making. So yeah, so as the diagram also illustrates. So concluding, uh, is actually, who's the guy who actually said design is about purpose? Arvind, Arvind, yes. So Arvind was actually very correct. To be human is to actually design. That's the conclusion. The desire to shape our realities, to intervene with the usual, reinterpret and reorganize and remix ideas. That's design. Otherwise, you can let nature be, and we can just we could have been just like dogs and monkeys, right? Even monkeys design, although by the way we have figured out monkeys also design tools. So yeah, so that's the idea, that that is the most human act of sort of changing and affecting our environment, for the good or for for any purpose. And finally, let me end with a quote from Otto Lasher. Design is not the embellishment of everyday life, it is its meaning itself. So anything you do, even if it is unorganized, even if it is logical or illogical or anything, it has elements of intentionality into it. As Aravind said, purpose, as there is purpose into it. So that purpose is the design. So if it is intentional, if it's intentional that you are late to the office, you are late by design. If it is intentional that you guys are you are addicted to these apps, that is essentially by design. So these were some more ways of thinking about design. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Chandra, for that amazing talk. Now we will have a Q&A. So if anyone has any questions, please feel free to drop them in the Q&A box or raise your hand to ask them yourself.
Sure.
Um, and before anyone else has an opportunity to ask you a question, I'd like to take that opportunity myself. I
Yep.
had a question about ontological design and how could ontological design be used in a way of self-improvement? Like, this is the kind of person I want to be, and this kind of person uses a product like this. Could
Exactly. Yeah. So you always envision, not that's what I'm trying to tell you. Don't just envision that product in isolation. Okay, if I get this phone, if I get this, uh, you know, I'll be happy. Think what else will get affected with that. Think what else will get it. So as something as I told you the example of a chair, right? The chair looks amazing. Chair is funny. Chair is whatever. That's why even when I figured it out, that why do product designers keep designing that chair over and over again. You must have seen those young for design and all that Instagram channels. They keep making those chairs again and again and again, different kinds. Sometimes they will imagine like that. There is this weird stuff they keep imagining. And when I understood the foundation of ontological design, then I understood, okay, that is why they were not stopping with the chair. The chair was already perfect, right? We already have the supreme chair, which is the perfect chair, right? The supreme plastic chair. So why do they keep designing it? So that's when I realized that, okay, they are not designing the chair, they're designing the world. They're designing the room itself, they're designing the person who's going to sit in that. Okay, that it is not about the chair. That chair is that weird chair that looks like a whatever blob. It's not about the chair, it's about the person who's going to sit into it. So yeah.
Thank you so much for answering my question, Mr. Chandra. The next one is from Surbhi. Please unmute yourself.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes.
Hi, thank you so much, Aman, for your lovely talk. It was really insightful. And I did not answer the what is design for you question because I completely agree to what you had mentioned just a minute before that, that design is a way of thinking and a way of living. And it affects how you think about politics and the world at large. I just wanted to ask you, how do you, recommend us students to approach design in a way that not only just is philosophical or ideological, but also helps create some tangible impact? Because like right now in the industry it's mostly about um, creating something, product design or web app design or whatever.
Hmm.
How can we lead it in a way that is not dismissing all these academia and the ideas that we get from it, but adding on to it? So I don't know if the question is clear.
Yeah, the question is very clear. So let me attempt that. So see, it's a big challenge for all of us. All designers. Uh, that is what I was trying to tell you, that we study design. We have this idea of solving problem and all that. And that is just, again, you are trained to do good, and when you enter the industry and you realize that, okay, uh, not really all the decisions are taken to for the good, or a lot of the, if you work for the big tech, the fang whatever, they are to intentionally designing addiction, they are designing how to make people, like get people in the trance states of, scrolling and then becoming. So what I'm trying to tell you, how do the answer to, if I have to answer that, the answer to that question would be, uh, it's that the apps and the web app and the products, they are going to stay, because this is the reality. We, on this planet, we live in a world, bound by interfaces. Yeah, I mean, I saw yesterday's talk by Prakash as well. So even he expanded the idea of interfaces, right? How you guys used to think interface as simply flat screen touch or whatever, but it can go beyond. Interface becomes anything. So in that sense, think whatever you product, whatever design product, whatever you do has to apply, has to have that thought process applied to it. You might find resistance to it. I'll tell you, even I find resistance sometimes when I try to propose ideas uh, that have, let's say, that go beyond just that thing. But then, uh, it becomes something, you know, even if some, ideas, what you thought creeps in into your product, it becomes, good in that way. Okay. Even if some leakage happens, from, your ideas, that will, so again, you become an app designer, become a UI UX designer. I'm not advising against, anyone to do that. Okay, don't do that. Uh, become that, become whatever the market requires, but but function in a way, that goes beyond just serving the purpose of that, machine. Okay, fitting in that, just okay, I, if this much I can do, I will be enough for working in this company, and I can crack a job, and then again I'll be doing this, because that is why we are, where we are. So I hope somewhere I was able to give you some idea. So we.
Yes, that did answer it. Thank you so much. One more question I had.
Okay, yeah.
So, as you mentioned that design can design us back, and that kind of led me to behavior design and how design can direct behaviors.
Yeah.
So, how do you think that is possible, and how you might have approached it in your practice?
So design, uh, I think it will again boil down to what I've already said. But if I can give you an example,
Yeah,
that would be
kind
great,
of.
right? So let me think about Grow Lab only. So I mean, see, even designers on their way of way to design something, right? Even let's say, for example, when I was designing Grow Lab, right? I personally don't have a garden, or I don't like to maintain any sort of plants or anything. Okay, but I ended up designing Grow Lab. So how did that happen? So in that sense, the whole journey of learning about the nature, the ecology, and the practices, that the systems that exist in nature, that sort of became learning for myself. So as a designer, I was also in a way, I was designed while working for it. So, and then once you put the product out in the nature, right? In that sense, whoever is, as something as simple as, let's say, yeah, I think this is the best example. Let's say somebody goes through the Grow Lab, and they get an idea. They get an idea of, let's say, biofuel something. Let's just say that. So in that sense, that product as a Grow Lab, as a space, designed the function into them. Again, it goes beyond inspiration. It actually presents an ideology into it, because Grow Lab is designed around the idea of making children, start the change, right? So in that sense, the whole activity, or the idea of, even the tagline, nature has all the solutions, it also takes over the title of Museum of Solutions. So the solutions that Museum of Solutions is talking about, uh, this is the solution. Okay, nature has all the solutions. We have to find solution from there. So that inspiration, that ideation, that sort of brings about through the space, is actually the act of designing us back, if that makes sense.
That was a lovely answer. Thank you so much.
Yes, Shreya.
Hello. So, I don't really have a question. I mean, I just wanted to know what you think about it. You said that design is neutral, which I guess means that design could be used for like negative things. And something that I personally have been worried about, or just thinking a lot about these past couple months, is how social media apps are
Mhm.
essentially designed to be addictive,
Yeah, right.
which in the long run isn't really beneficial for us as a community. So I just wanted to know what you think about it. And
So
yeah.
it's a it's an evolving thought. I think all of us are having that thought right now, or since long time, that how does social media affect us. So because there are times where you think, yeah, social media is great, it actually brought about that change, it made us take down something, let's say some offensive stuff said by someone or whatever. It helped people voice. Okay. uh, and even policies have been changed through social media protests. Okay. So but then again, this addiction thing comes in. So again, that is the whole thing. I think this is the reality. And as you saw yesterday's talk, I mean, I was so inspired by Prakash, how he's saying that we showed all these videos, right? All these videos of future. So that future is actually coming. Okay, half of it is already there. The apps you can talk to right now. Okay, we are going to be even more isolated. I think someone asked that question as well. Somebody asked that how we are isolated and all that, through interfaces and all, so again, that is going to happen. So that is where you have to keep this idea of neutral being it. That is the sense of direction. Humans have to do something. So there are only two ways to live, actually. You either do something or you don't do. The don't do is actually where you go to meditate. Okay, we can go and have a go to meditation center and meditate for 1 month. It's fine, not a bad thing. But if you do, definitely, you know wheel is going to progress, and there is going to be something good and bad, alongside to it. Again, the principles of social media remain the same, that it helps us talk to people, right? And that essentially is a good thing, I would say. It's just the way it's shaping the culture, that you know even algorithm based feed and all that, how suddenly, you remember that day, I very much remember, on I think on February or something, which day I don't remember, some 26th or 25th February, everyone got the violence videos. You guys remember that? Huh? Almost all of the world, or India, I think, at least, got, like, suddenly everyone's feed, regardless of what they used to see, they got some violence killing videos, in the whole. So again, that is the awareness. That is even more important for us as a designer to go. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. In future, I have my friends right now who are actually working on designing algorithm. Okay, they're not designing interface. They don't know code. They are designing the logic of algorithm, how the algorithm can perform better. Okay, so in that sense, social media is neutral. Again, social media, take it like a tool. It's there. Okay, what good is going to happen or what bad is going to happen is up to us. If we as a culture think it's good, it's going to progress. If we as a culture, we as a people of the world, citizens of the world, think that this is not good, dangerous, it's going to cease to exist. So I think right now it seems like everybody likes it.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any question regarding career? अरे कोई career का सवाल नहीं पूछ रहा है. Nobody is asking. Huh?
I mean, I guess all of us would love to know more about museum solutions. I mean, personally was just stalking their Instagram like day before yesterday, and you guys are doing some great stuff. Like, I was also going through your social media feed, and I mean, how does it feel working in that area? Because I don't think anyone really considers, especially like designing for kids. We all think of, UX, we have to design for the adults, the older generation. But like, the future generation is today's children. Whatever we design today, whatever we do to them, really depends and decides how they will take up the future. So, how has that been for you?
That has been great, as I think you rightly put. Most of us are designing for adults or like 18 plus adults people, but we are not like very few products are coming for kids. And whatever products are coming for kids, so we also have a debate around for something like a cocoa melon, if you want, if you guys know about cocoa melon, right? So cocoa melons is also a product for children. So we are sort of against that. So in that sense, um, designing for children it has been really fun. And as I told you, our process does include children's panel into it. So that's really and that's a really exciting sort of a radical process of giving children, putting children in the meeting room. Okay, so we put children in the meeting room and they sort of devise, decide what works and what doesn't work. So yeah, I mean, and that actually aligns to the that actually happens because of the founder's vision. So this museum is actually started by Tanvi Jindal, who is the you know the founder and the CEO right now of this space. She 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 heads this team. It's a very small and lean team. So that's why a lot of the work that we do actually sort of we are only till conceptualization, we're only till writing the content and finishing the idea of it, and then it is pushed down to a third party, either fabricator or developer, to do it. So at Museum Solutions, I've even I mean, I was one day I was getting bored, so I also used AI to sort of design an app entirely, like code itself. So that sort of freedom is there. As a designer, I can feel that freedom. Like, for example, we were trying to do something, and um, let's say we had a product which was coming out called Passport of Play, which is basically a passport where you collect points. So the points needed to be stored and managed, and sort of there was a scoreboard and leaderboard and all that into it. So again, I cannot show you that much, but yeah, that project actually happened, and I actually like ended the project like from scratch to finish using AI. So at the end I realized I designed two apps which was used by staff. One staff to enter the score and manage the scores and data and all that, also logging and everything. And um, that worked actually. That worked. I used Copilot and ChatGPT as well to sort of develop it. And I just realized that okay, jobs have gone. Okay, jobs are really gone. So I in the morning itself I saw a meme where it was like uh, it was written that imagine an entire generation studying to for a job that's not going to exist. So so that was funny, but again dark. But yeah, that happened. So at Museum Solutions, it's quite a lot of fun in the sense that the kind of products that we build, in the sense that whether it's first of all it's live. So I just step out of the office and user studies begins. Okay, so you can start uh, researching on user behavior. Okay, this guy is just throwing everything. Why is this kid throwing everything? Or this kid seems to be very interested in this. We didn't give much thought to it. Why did this kid why is he or she is more interested into, what is she looking at? So that sort of interesting space behavior is there. There are a lot of space like this abroad. So Museum Solution becomes in that space. Sort of in India, it's the only space that is occupying this sort of position, right? In abroad, you can find a lot of these different kinds of out of the box museums. So actually, what I do is whenever we take intern or any sort of new guy, we ask this first question is, first task is to figure out why are we called museum. So that's the first question we ask. That's the first homework, and that's how the journey begins. Yeah. Anything else? Anybody else?
I think we're all out of questions for you, sir. Uh, yes.
Okay.
So I'd like to thank everyone for partaking in this discussion. And a special thank you to you, Mr. Chandra, for coming on the panel today. And I hope everyone was able to take away from these discussions as much as I could. And before we end this session, as well as Tashkil, I would like to invite our secretary of Whitespace, Shreya, to share a few words.
Okay. Hello. Yeah, thank you so much, Yog. And again, thank you so much, Aman, for this wonderful session. It was really a great session to wrap up Tashkil 2025. Um, I mean, a little, I guess fact is Aman was actually one of our the first person to say yes for speaking at Tashkil. So this seems like a cute little, sweet little, full circle moment. The person who started Tashkil officially is also the same person who ended it. So thank you so much, Aman, for that. And apart from that, I mean, I obviously have to thank my team. We have our hosts, we have Yog, we had Mati, we had Ridhima, we had Madan. And even like behind the whole thing, right? We had Lakshya, we had Aditya, and the entire core team, the people in the design team, staying up till like 3 a.m. trying to figure out the platform, multiple dummy meets and just meetings and just texts. I mean, this wouldn't have gone this smoothly without you guys. And our profs, I guess Ravi sir is still here, but our profs like Ravi sir, who have been with us and our alumni during their, in education, and for being a big part of bringing us where we are right now and where they are right now. Thank you so much for that, and for even showing up to Tashkil 2025. Your support really means a lot to us as Whitespace. And finally, I'd really like to thank the audience. This really wouldn't have been the same without you all. For your participation, for the questions you had, for your enthusiasm. It has been really motivating for us as a club, and I'm sure for the speakers also. So, all in all, thank you so much. And hoping to see you all again for the next edition of Tashkil. Thank you.